There was a season in my life where I was eating bulldog ramen almost every night, drinking on weekends, sometimes weeknights, going out because that's just what we did. And on the outside, it probably looked fine. I was just living, being social, being young. But on the inside, I felt outside of my own body, outside of my element. I was watching myself from a distance, going through motions that didn't belong to me. The thing that haunted me the most wasn't the ramen or the drinking. I knew too much to stay the same. I knew better, and I was doing it anyway. That gap between what you know and how you're actually living, that's one of the loneliest places to be. This video is about how I finally closed that gap. And it wasn't willpower that got me there. What I told myself during that season was, I'm just being graceful with myself. And listen, grace is real. Grace is necessary. I believe that 100%. But the thing is that I was confusing grace with permission. I was using the language of self-compassion to avoid doing the hard thing, which was building a life that actually reflected who I was called to be. The people that I was living with, and I do want to be clear, this isn't about judging anyone. People are allowed to live the way that they want to, but their lifestyle merged with mine because I had no foundation of my own to stand on. No structure, no real sense of who I was outside of what was happening around me. And when you have a shaky foundation, you drift. You go with whatever current is pulling you. You eat what's around, you do what everyone else is doing, and you wake up one day and you don't recognize the woman looking back at you. I was building on sand, not stone. And the thing about sand is that it feels stable enough until something shifts. And something always shifts. I didn't start my fitness journey because I loved my body. I started it because I didn't want the fat on my body. I wanted to look good. I wanted to feel like I had more value when I walked into a room, for example. I wanted to earn the body that I thought would make me worthy of being seen. And here is what happened. And this is the part that not too many people talk about in the beginning, is that the more I spent time with my body, the more I started to hear it. Not just see it, hear it. I started to notice what made me feel more alive and what left me depleted. I started to understand that movement wasn't a punishment, it was a gift. That I had been given a body that can do things, feel things, carry me through this life. And I had treated it as an inconvenience. The vanity got me through the door, but something else was waiting on the other side. I started volunteering at a hospital. I had been thinking about going into medicine. I wanted to be a PA, and I wanted to understand what healing looked like up close. What I didn't expect was what it would do to me. I walked through those halls and I saw real people, not statistics, living with diseases that didn't have to happen, conditions that were directly related to how they had been eating, moving, and sleeping. Choices made across decades, compounding quietly until the body finally said enough. And I remember standing there feeling something that I can only describe as pressure, not judgment, like pressure. Like something was asking me, what are you going to do with what you know now? That's when I understood that health was never just personal. It wasn't just about how I looked or how I felt. By nurturing our body, we care for the temple we have been given. And when we do that well, we have something to give. We show up differently for the people around us. We model something. We become living proof that another way is possible. I knew then that I wanted to spend my life in preventative health, not managing disease after the fact, but helping people understand that the choices that they make right now in their 20s, in their 30s, are quietly writing the story of the body they will live in for the rest of their lives. That shift from vanity to vision was the beginning. And then I went through a breakup. I'm not going to go into all of it, but I will tell you this. I hit a floor I didn't know was there. There were days I didn't want to eat, days I felt completely helpless. And in that season, in the middle of that particular pain that only heartbreak brings, God showed up. Not in a dramatic way, in a quiet way, in the way that you realize slowly something has been holding you up this entire time and you just hadn't noticed because you were too busy trying to hold yourself up. I realized that He had been with me through the roommate season, through the hospital hallways, through all of the moments that I had been trying to build something real in my life. He had been there. When I finally felt that, really felt it, I realized that I owed it to Him, not out of obligation, out of love, out of the recognition that this body, this life, this one shot that I have at being here, it was never mine to neglect. That is what finally made me take it seriously. Not a diet, not a goal, not a number on a scale. The understanding that stewardship is an act of worship. That when I take care of this body, I am saying thank you with my choices. I am saying I receive this gift, I will not waste it. Now, this is what it looks like in honest practice because I'm not someone who has it completely figured out. So, on some days, I get a full workout in. And on other days, it's like a 20 or 30-minute functional training program because that's all I have. And I'm not going to let perfect be the enemy of present. I meal prep because it saves me from myself on the hard days. I buy clean, organic foods because I understand now that what I put in my body matters, not for aesthetics, but for longevity. The sleep, especially, I know is the foundation, and I'm still working on protecting it. The gym has become a place where I commune with something bigger than a fitness goal. It fulfills something in me that I don't fully have the language for, but I just know that when I leave, I feel more like myself. That is what taking it seriously looks like for me, not for perfection, intention. My body is still asking for things of me. It asks me to stretch more, to fix my posture, to take my sciatica more seriously, to get into the sauna, to go on hikes, to sleep earlier. And I hear it now in a way I couldn't before because I stopped treating my body like a problem and I started to treat it like a conversation. Stewardship is not a destination that you arrive at. It's a daily practice of paying attention, of choosing over and over again to show up for the life that you have been given. And I think about the women in those hospital hallways, the ones who didn't have someone in their corner early enough, asking them to pay attention, reminding them that the choices of today are the body of tomorrow. I don't want that for you. I want you to know, before something forces you to know, that the body that you're in right now is not a given. It's a gift. And it's asking you right now, today, to begin. So I want to leave you with this. If you knew, really knew, that your body is a gift entrusted to you and not something you owned outright, would you treat it differently starting the moment you realize it? Sit with that. If this video moves something in you, share it with a woman who needs to hear it. And if you're on this journey with me, building something intentional with your mind, your body, your spirit, subscribe and stay close. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.